So if you're watching me coming on live for the first time, if you're wondering why I'm doing live, I'm on a challenge and I like to make these lives meaningful. I don't want to come on for the sake of coming on. So I will usually share a learning or a story, and today I would like to share a story. Like, I really like this story, and I'm telling it because I want to have it imprint within my subconscious mind. And if you are live with me watching this, I hope you enjoy this story as well. So if you've been watching me on live for a couple of days, you might heard me share that I've actually listening to an audio book, but it's actually a kids book. But I like kids book because it sometimes simplifies the concept which we sometimes being adults like to overcomplicate stuff. So the story was that yesterday, while I was listening to the story, we were arriving at the part whereby there's this little girl, Sarah. She has a very good friend by the name of Seth, and they also have another friend who's a wise owl who can talk, who gives them advice, very philosophical, wise owl. So Seth met an accident. Not sure if that's the right word to say it. Well, Seth got himself injured because his little brother fell into the river. Seth was nearby. Seth just jumped in. Despite the current, he managed to grab his little brother out from the river. However, because the current was so strong, he injured himself and he has bandages all over, and Sarah was feeling so upset because Seth is a really good friend, and the thought of him all bandaged up, she felt really awful. And Solomon, who's the wise old owl, who tells Sarah, do not make an attempt to dramatize the negativity, because when Seth jumped the river to save his little brother, the adults were saying, oh, those kids, they just do not know how dangerous the river is. Why don't they listen? Why are they always playing around near the river? We should just somehow fence it up, and so that the kids will not get injured anymore. So there were a lot of thoughts among the adults about how dangerous it was, and the little boy, although he was saved, but the elder brother, who's Seth, is going to get terrible scars because he was smacked by the branches, the bugs that were in the river. So Sarah was listening to all this and she felt really bad, and she was upset that her good friend is so badly injured. And Solomon reminded Sarah and said that you can be the person who do not dramatize the negativity. And Sarah was like, I do not understand, but Seth is injured. I'm feeling so sad for my friend. She said, yes, but be the only person to stay grounded, to see the well-being of this entire experience. So it's really tough for Sarah, who's a kid, but I guess as adults we understand, right? So when Sarah went to school, she met Seth along the hallway, and she noticed that why isn't Seth carrying his backpack properly? He was only on one side of his shoulder, and then she noticed it's because he had bandages on the other side. And when he was turning around to open the door, she noticed he even had a bandage on his face. It really hurts her to see Seth all bandaged up. But then she remembered Solomon's words saying that you do not need to dramatize the negativity of this experience. So Sarah braved herself. She walked up to Seth. Seth, wait up. So Seth waited, but he felt a little shy, maybe because of his injury. He wasn't looking into Sarah's eyes. And Sarah just took the challenge and said, Seth, I heard the water currents were so strong, but you're such a good swimmer, and you actually saved your little brother. That's amazing. Seth still didn't look up. So Sarah said something funny. The cafeteria chef, she dropped her pin into the banana pudding. She couldn't get it out, and she had to throw all the banana pudding away. Seth giggled and said, are you sure, Sarah? Was it something that you made up? Seth said, no, it's true. So Seth felt a little bit better, and Sarah said, Seth, I got so many things to tell you. Solomon was teaching me so many stuff. I would really like to share with you. So, but it's okay. Whenever you're ready, we'll meet back at the tree house. And Seth walked away happy. As Sarah walked away, she sigh of relief. She was like, oh, I think that went well. And Solomon came to her mind and said, it was really good, Sarah. You did not dramatize the negativity of the event, but you reinforced the well-being of that experience. So I think sometimes it's hard for us. You know, if you hear someone being injured, you want to say, oh, it's okay. What's wrong? What happened? You want to sympathize. But maybe it'd be interesting, you know, when I look back on this reminder a year later, when it pops out on my feed, it's a good reminder whereby we could be the one or two different person who want to make an attempt to see the goodness of that experience. Okay, so that's it for today. I'm going to jump on to my masterclass. It's day 3 of my masterclass. If you'd like to join me on day 3 of my masterclass about the self-fulfilling prophecy, there's a question that comes whereby, will it come true? Well, that's the kind of question that actually might make the self-fulfilling prophecy not come true, but I'll dive more into day 3. If you'd like to join me, do check out on my post. I think there's a link whereby you can join me on a closed group. Otherwise, you can join me on Zoom because I'm going to stream it into the group. Okay, so if you enjoyed that story and you're watching this on a replay, #replay to let me know, and I hope to see you back with me live tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.